This is Microphone Check, Hip Hop from NPR Music. I'm Frannie Kelley.
I'm Ali Shaheed Muhammed.
Lunice.
Thank you for coming.
No, man, it's an honor.
I really appreciate it. It's nice to have two DJs and producers here together.
Right?
That doesn't happen often.
That's the glory of festivals in general, right?
Yeah.
It's crossing, you eventually cross them more often and then you get to know them. And then it becomes like a network of family almost.
Yes, you get to meet like the greats.
Yeah, exactly.
Those who preceded you.
Exactly, and be inspired and then gain knowledge in hopes to do something better.
So is that how you approach that relationship? Like you pay homage or?
Always. It's studying, it's doing research, it's trying to understand the motive behind their certain actions. Mm-hmm. And that's where I get the inspiration. I don't necessarily get it out of like what song was big. It's more out of like, why did he go for that? Or why did she go for that? Mm-hmm. And then realizing why is what inspires me. And then like, it completely makes sense. And then I would go towards that direction and start to approach my music in that kind of way. So that's sort of how I look up to, greats.
So how did you begin though? Like, were you in music classes or was it just straight?
It was like straight hip hop culture in general. Because I started b-boying, started doing graffiti, scratching. I never rapped because I wasn't a good rapper, so I started beatboxing instead. I was like, I gotta do something with the mic. So.
People forget.
Yeah. I was just so.
But yeah, no, I got into that. Then just got the idea of putting music together out of listening to a lot of music from b-boying. And I was like, what if I just, these ideas I would get from a lot of songs, I wouldn't just go to a song and be like, I don't like that. I would go to a song and be like, what if this part was rearranged? And I was like, what if I just take these ideas and actually try to make something out of that? And that's when I took it more serious and really step by step started to work at it to the point where it's more fluent with the ideas.
Got it.
Yeah.
How do you find how do you dig now as opposed to like how Ali may have been like at the store?
So like me being of a younger generation, so I started off digging and it just gradually I started to stop sampling in general because I just wanted to get more into using synthesizers and creating melodies. And then I just pretty much got more into that in general. And then if I would go dig, I would do it digitally as well. I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna be like, I'm that totally analog guy. But no, I like to explore both ways because I believe that both sides have potential. It's that kind of vibe. Uh-huh. So might as well take advantage of both. And
where do you look?
Where do I look?
Digitally,
good question. Sometimes I would even have like songs on with a playlist, and I'd be like, "What song is that?" Yeah. Or like the radio, even, or to the point I would go on like satellite radio too, when there's only Motown songs playing and such. I would catch something and then maybe look into that. But it's been quite a while since I've made a sample-based beat though. Okay. But I'm definitely getting back into it, trying to gain back what I know now with sample-based beats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so where are you playing now?
Today, I got a show at the Complex Magazine Party. Mm-hmm. And after that, Pitchfork by day, and finishing the night off at the M for Montreal showcase.
Do you ever attend beat battles?
Beat battles, sir?
Beat battles.
Beat battles. No, I've never attended. I've seen videos. I'm like, it's the weirdest scene. I've never been part of that scene, nor has it really popped off in Montreal in that way. But I know it's like big in certain cities down the States, so I would just watch it and be like, whoa, never knew this was happening.
Would you ever, jump in one?
Nah.
Why not?
Nah, because I get the same feeling of as if you would go out DJ your own city every week, then you become that local guy. Not that it become local people, it's just that sort of label on you, that is sort of labeled on you. Like when I started DJing, the first thing I did was to do one show a month, even if I wasn't known. But at least that one show was a hell of a show that I give. So people would remember and it starts to build up for the next time. So it just became more of that.
I just become so wise so young.
How?
Yeah, man.
Man, I've been like that since I was like a kid. I've built my whole life out of like, I ain't doing what that guy did. Exactly. I just kept it that way. And then I kept it consistent and developed it as I aged.
Now that's kind of a method that I always use, and it's so like adverse to what's the norm and what everyone else does. But I think it's more effective.
Exactly. But it's exactly that. When I also read onto like on different autobiographies of artists or whatnot, and I catch these patterns within like say for example, the one I always refer to is Miles Davis. You know, I see how he brought cool to jazz, and seeing that is sort of how I want to bring cool to rap, right? Because rap is like really turned up right now or whatever it is, which is completely fine. But I like the dynamics of how it can be up and cool and low. You know, I like to play like that when I play my set. So I inspire myself off of like old artists a lot in terms of how they put things together and relate the patterns and be like, this is totally what I'm doing right now.
What do you think right now that's pretty current, or more so just from a new school that's very compelling and who you think has longevity?
Who you think has longevity right now?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, man, I tell you Big Sean has longevity, and why he understands what he wants to go for. He does like certain moves, obviously that's more on a commercial platform, but there's an explanation behind it rather than just trying to reformulate a lot of things. I can really hear it and the consistency of all of his work, basically. And I like the fact that when his album came out, I didn't hop on it right away. I just like waited a bit, and then way later then I checked it out, and I'm like, this totally makes sense. I could totally see him make another album and another one and stuff like that. So like artists like that, Schoolboy, so far it's like I can really see it in terms of how he can keep it longevity wise as well, because it's really you sort of get it as a person. You get him as a person. Once you get him as a person, you can totally see the longevity. If you see him as a character, then it's a character. Characters, they fade out easily. So when you see him as a character and they come off as a character, then I can't really see you lasting for any longer, which is no disrespect. It's just that you're coming off as a character. Yeah.
Totally.
But you don't have that problem like behind the decks, behind the scenes at all? Or do you worry about that? How people perceive you or what stories people tell about you?
Like behind the scenes, I'm completely calm and focused, that kind of thing. And when I'm on stage, it gives, because I'm used to performing. And I used to do theater back in school and all that stuff too, and go work in film. And so I've already built a sort of character, stage presence. So I'm taking advantage of that. Like my first gig was basically that. I didn't know what to do on stage. I never DJ'd or anything. My friends were in front. We were all having fun. I'm like, okay, let me wild out, go in front, see my friends. And it's just developed since then to the point that I'm like, you know what? I want to make it more theatrical now for like this year with the album and all that. I want to push it, see how much more I can push it.
Do you ever notice differences in crowds? Internationally compared to here?
Oh, definitely.
Or at home?
It's definitely going to be a different response with an international crowd to a Canadian crowd to a U.S. crowd, purely out of culture. I mean...
Like how? What happens?
It can really... not to go too deep on it, I mean, the culture really influences how they will listen to a certain song. I can play the same song in the UK and play the same song in, I don't know, in the summer in the States, and it's a completely different response, you know? It's that kind of deal, so... It's hard to say, like, I can't be like, oh, yeah, the UK people are the best. Europe people are decent. No, it's like, it's all the same. To me, it's all the same response, even if it's high or low, because I understand why they might react in that way.
Okay. So you can predict, like, what they're going to
do? Sort of predict, but it's in a gray area. It's just like, even if they're not enjoying it, I know they're thinking. That's my whole thing.
Okay.
I perform 100% even though they're just watching. And I enjoy that.
I don't. I'm like, please go dance and just forget I'm here.
Right, but that's the thing. That's why that's why I'm very I perform a lot.
Yeah.
So it's at least if they're not enjoying, they have something to watch, and then in the end, they gotta enjoy the energy and the performance within it, even though they don't enjoy the music. You know, it's that kind of thing. So it sort of almost touches everybody.
How much time do you put into, preparing for a gig?
What I've been doing a lot lately, actually, is that I build a set, and then right before the gig, I don't touch it. And I like to improvise within my set a lot, and realize certain ideas, and then redo them a couple times at shows. So it's like a few weeks ago, I made up a new set, and I didn't even practice it. I practiced it at the warehouse party with Skrillex with 3,000 people. That was my practice set. But I like the pressure. I like the pressure because it puts me on, it makes me focus, and it's like, let's do this.
The dogs agree.
Real shit, man.
They want you to jump on right now.
Shout out to my dogs.
They turned up for you.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely do this next time.
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice. Thanks a lot.
No, for sure. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah.